Welcome back to Hogwarts. Hey.
Snape, Snape, Severus Snape, 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 Severus Snape.
Do we have Mel? I don't think so. I didn't see anything in the tray. No, we don't have any unopened mail. Yeah. What quest are we kicking it off with today? Prisoner of Love. Professor Hackett's assignment. Oh yeah, so I do need to do more battles because I need to successfully
Snape,
avoid an enemy.
Severus Snape, 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 Severus Snape.
We have 8 more keys to find eventually.
I don't know.
Successfully dodge roll an enemy attack at least 8 more times before we can do that. So I guess we're going to start off with Prisoner of Love. You good, sir? Yeah.
I know what that means. Merlin trial.
I found one. Oh.
Incendio!
Incendio. Is it Levioso?
Accio!
That was Accio. I don't think I was supposed to do that.
Levioso! Accio!
Maybe I am. There's an axe and a log. Okay, so we need to face those. I might not have any more of the milkweed stuff. So there's something else. There's an axe.
Snape, Snape, Severus Snape, 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 Severus Snape.
Ah! Huh. Yeesh.
These Merlin trials won't get the best of me.
I did it!
What have
You.
you done? I couldn't help it over here. Did you mention Ranrock's loyalists?
I did. Never imagined they'd act this deadly. I'm Claire Beaumont, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
Ranrock and his followers have set up camp here. No regard for our beloved hamlet or our livelihoods. Ruthless. My brother Bardolph dared to stand up to them and ended up in St. Mungo's. I'm simply at my wits' end.
How did your brother Bardolph end up in St. Mungo's?
Bardolph had spent the entire day hand-picking herbs and roots for us. When a group of Ranrock's lot appeared and demanded the harvest for themselves, Bardolph refused. In their anger, they hurled him against a rock and robbed him. The moment he left St. Mungo's, he vowed revenge. I worry he may be dabbling in magic that he will one day regret.
Hmm.
You said Ranrock's loyalists have set up camp here. Where precisely?
To the south, across the river. Last I heard, there were several loyalists in each camp. I won't go near them.
Hmm.
Why don't you simply leave the area for now?
Upper
Did you go run
Hogsfield
them
is
out?
my home. Baldolph and I grew up here. No, we are standing firm. Once my brother returns, then we shall decide what to do next. He's gone to seek Victor Rookwood's advice. I didn't approve of that idea, but perhaps in the end it will help.
No.
I am unfortunately quite familiar with Ranrock's loyalists. Perhaps I can do something.
Much as I would love to be rid of them, I wouldn't want you to risk injury, or worse. Please be cautious.
I only have 2 left.
It seems as though things are getting worse. Best be on my guard.
Shane Bardolph thought dark magic was the answer. I reckon Rookwood's played a hand in his
Excuse me, did you say something about a Bardolph Beaumont?
I did. I don't think we've met. I'm Dorothy Sprottle. I was just worrying about Claire Beaumont's brother Bardolph, only he's gone missing. Rumour is he was seen in the forest practicing dark magic. Saw him myself near some ruins with Rookwood's lot I did. I fear he got himself into trouble with the Ashwinders, especially if he made them a promise he couldn't keep. I'd help search for him myself, but no one will risk encountering Ranrock's loyalists. They seem to be everywhere.
Why would Bardolph want to get involved with the Ashwinders?
Oh, he had a terrible run-in with Ranrock's loyalists. Changed him. He vowed never to feel powerless again. I think he sought the Ashwinders out to learn their secrets. Victor Rookwood, at least, seems somehow immune to Ranrock's loyalists.
I guess I'll keep an eye out for
I
him.
can certainly look out for him.
Any help would be appreciated. You might speak to Claire first. Perhaps she has some insights that I don't. I can tell you that Bardolph was last seen in the forest wearing a particular woolen jumper, one that Claire knitted herself. Claire will be at her shop if you'd like to speak with her.
No, I want to go talk to this person that I think is in here.
Here you are. I'm pleased to see you took my advice.
Oh.
Madam Thistlewood, I met your great-uncle in his portrait in my common room. He sent me to speak to you.
I'm pleased you came. Uncle Eldridge believes the book you found and its missing pages may be relevant to an unsolved case from my time as an aura.
Very well. I'm listening.
Decades ago, a student named Richard Jackdaw disappeared after going to meet a girl named Anne. They never found his body. When his headless ghost appeared briefly in Hogsmeade, wholly unaware of how he died, Anne was convicted of his murder and sent to Azkaban. It was in large part due to the testimony of a girl called Apollonia Black. Jealous of Anne, I think.
That sounds terrible, but I'm not sure how I can help.
Anne's alibi was somewhat labyrinthine. She said Jackdaw promised her adventure following a map he found on some pages he'd stolen from Peeves.
And you think Peeves ripped those pages from the book I found in the restricted section?
If my great-uncle is to be believed, yes. At least that's what the portraits at Hogwarts suspect. Anne insisted that Jackdaw had asked her to follow the map with him, but only after she solved a series of puzzles he'd prepared. Odd way to woo a girl. She swears she never even solved the first puzzle, so they didn't meet. Jackdaw's ghost vanished almost as soon as he appeared. Without Jackdaw's puzzle, pages, or remains, Anne was sent to Azkaban based solely on Apollonia's spurious testimony.
I don't understand. What can I do to help?
I believe Anne may have solved the first puzzle by now, but after spending time in Azkaban, she's a shadow of her former self. She won't speak to anyone she doesn't trust, and she trusts no one. If you, a student with a connection to the pages, like Jackdaw had, spoke to Anne, she might reveal new information.
What a horrible story. Well, if you think I can help, I'll come with you.
This is wonderful news. You are to be commended for your kindness and bravery. Fortunately, being a retired aura has its benefits. We can apparate right to her. I've escorted ministers, professors, and many others to that blasted place. Never a student, I'll admit, but I will keep you safe.
Okay. I'm about to turn it on vibrate, that's for sure.
Very well. Let's go.
Steady yourself. We'll apparate together. Don't worry, I've never splinched anyone.
Do take care now, and tread lightly in that horrible place.
We'll be there in but a moment.
I went.
That ought to keep them at bay for now. Though, be aware, you may feel a wave of despair. It will pass.
Thank you for the warning.
This really is a dismal place, but we'll be out of here soon enough. Now follow me.
Expecto Patronum.
Mind your step.
Ugh, I never thought I'd see the inside of Azkaban for myself.
Nasty Dementors. Not even I could convince the Ministry to send them off. There's no need for such monsters.
She's been here a lot longer than the rest of you.
If I had my wand, I'd cast Crucio on the lot of you!
You don't scare me, young cur. I teach you so little of what you should know of.
That witch you're with has a dark cloud over her. I can feel it.
All around in darkness. My only friend, my only hope.
I one at school's going to believe this.
Now remember, Anne has been here a long time. The Dementors aren't kind. Have patience and speak to her quietly and respectfully.
Are you Anne?
Who's there? Who speaks to me? Is that death finally come for me?
I'm a student from Hogwarts. I found the book that you said would exonerate you.
Ah, the book, the book. No one would look. None of the mages found the pages. Methinks the feckless knave meandered to his cave. My fate was surely sealed in Upper Hoggyfield.
You wouldn't get a single nibble from me. Yeah.
What are you trying to say? That the missing pages are in a cave? Near Upper Hogsfield?
Field, ruins house, a vault concealed.
A vault? In some ruins? Near Upper Hogsfield? I suppose it can't hurt to look.
Can't hurt to look, can't hurt to look. Go find the pages from your book. Helen, know you're here. Come in closer, be a dear.
What is it, Anne?
You're hurt.
Go. The cave. You're safe now. You have what you need. I'll be all right once I get...
Where'd you go? Apparated is teleporting.
But Madame Thistlewood, all right, I'll find it. I'll find Jackdaw's cave.
Oh, I pronounced it wrong. I see what you're saying.
Seems a pleasant enough little place.
And Fury must be struck with fire spells to make them vulnerable to other attacks. Visit the collections menu to learn about the enemy's weakness.
Incendio! Yes.
Ouch. Oh, hi.
Stupefy. Incendio.
Ouch.
I'm not sure Madame Beaumont would want to know what really happened to him.
I hit Y. That sucks. Oh, come on.
Stupefy. Incendio.
Oh, I do hope my brother is all right.
Madame Beaumont? I believe I have some news of your brother.
Bardolph? What do you know of my brother?
I'm afraid he's dead, or he's decided to pursue a new life. What's the best thing to tell her? Pursue a new life, or afraid he's dead? What do y'all think? Basically telling her he's dead would be telling the truth. And I guess saying he's decided to pursue a new life is just to beat around the bush. He's decided to pursue a new life, an afterlife. Do truth? What is the green light from?
I regret to say that Bardolph had been turned into an Inferius, and I had to kill him.
What? But how could you possibly think that an Inferius was my brother Bardolph? That's absurd.
He was wearing a woolen jumper, hand-knitted.
No. No. It can't be.
I'm truly sorry. I wish it had been better news. I wish you well, Madame Beaumont.
What more could I have done? Oh, Bardolph!
And no more crying. It's over just like
I'd
that.
have bet my last galleon you can take her.
An utterly pitiful display. What an unfortunate disappointment. I won't rest until you're dead. Your acrobatics will only postpone the inevitable. I don't think you know you. No! I will make you pay.
Hello, wizard. There's what, one more floating around in there? Oh. He's over here somewhere. Oh, they're both dead.
Both camps cleared. Madame Beaumont will be glad to hear that.
I do miss the bustle of business.
Hello, Madame Beaumont. Good news. I was able to clear out Ranrock's camps.
You cleared them out? How?
Oh.
I managed to catch them off guard.
Oh, I wish my brother could have done what you did. Perhaps he'd still be with me now. I'm especially grateful. You did, for Bardolph, what I could not. You saved our hamlet, my young friend. This will not be forgotten. I fear for other hamlets, truly. Ranrock and his lot are unlike any goblins I've ever seen.
What do you have for sale? This must be the place Anne told me about.
Revelio.
No one's been here for ages.
Should I just break that from walking into it? Oh. Hi, I'm here! Estravai! Ah. Puzzle. Ooh, chest. Nope. How are you? Did you sleep well?
Revelio.
Huh.
Incendio.
That didn't work. Yeah, it did. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, yeah. That it?
Revelio.
Yes.
Ah, I see how this goes.
Hmm. Hold on.
Revelio.
This one's highlight. Okay. That's already out. Highlight the other one. Thank you. Come on.
You couldn't outwit me, Jackdaw. Now, where's the clue you left behind?
Revelio.
My dearest Anne, well done. You solved my puzzle. I knew you were a kindred spirit and the only one with whom I could truly share my adventures. Meet me at the edge of the Forbidden Forest as soon as you can, and I will show you the map that I mentioned. There is no telling where it will lead us. I found it on pages that Peeves ripped from a secret book. No one else seems to be able to find. I haven't any idea what lies ahead, but I am glad to know I shall share my future with you. This is only the beginning. Richard. P.S. I am terribly glad you found this, as I would have gone on alone if you did not. And what fun would that be?
A note from Jackdaw. Anne never found it. So how did he die? Was she to blame at all?
Hi.
Could it be? Has someone solved my puzzle after all these years? Well done indeed. Richard Jackdaw, at your service.
The Richard Jackdaw. I heard you disappeared years ago. You have some explaining to do.
I do? That was my puzzle you solved. What are you doing here?
A retired Aura, Helen Thistlewood, told me about a map you stole from Peeves, and then Anne told me about a cave.
You saw Anne? Broke my heart. I had to go on without her. Probably best for her in the end. Dare I ask? How is she?
Hmm.
She was imprisoned in Azkaban for your murder. I fear the Dementors have taken an irreversible toll on her.
What? Azkaban? Oh, poor Anne. I had no idea. I thought she'd written me off. I've been traveling the world for years to mend my broken heart. I came back here only recently, on a whim. I must speak to the Aura you mentioned and see how I can help Anne.
I'm glad to hear it. Before you go, would I still be able to find the pages with the map Helen mentioned?
I'm almost certain I dropped them in the cave the moment I was beheaded. They're bound to be mouldering away with the rest of me. Tell you what, meet me at the edge of the Forbidden Forest, and I'll show you precisely where to find them.
Interesting.
If you don't mind my asking, how did you lose your head?
I was having a look about when I suddenly sensed a refreshing breeze, after which I felt, well, lightheaded. That's all I remember. Hence, if you do find yourself in a cave, be prepared. I can't tell you what for specifically, but you seem a perceptive sort. Beware a light breeze.
How is it possible to steal from Peeves? A poltergeist?
I didn't steal the pages from his ghostly form. I merely found them in his wake of destruction. He has a penchant for wrecking things. Books, bottles, suits of armor. Whatever's likely to cause the most chaos. Found them on the floor outside the library where he discarded them. Not my luckiest find, all things considered.
Helen mentioned Apollonia Black. Did she set up Anne to take the fall?
Have you never met any members of the Black family? They can be rather vindictive. Once Anne showed an interest in me, Apollonia couldn't let it alone. That her own heart had grown cold simply didn't matter.
Thank you. I need to find those pages to help a friend.
I shall see you there.
Do you see the fact that, greetings, I'm happy to report that my sister Helen survived that sudden attack in Azkaban. She said she does not hold a grudge against Anne, as terrible as the violence was. After seeing the conditions in Azkaban anew, Helen said it's no wonder Anne's mind is so far gone. It seems you found Jackdaw's ghost and told him about Anne. Helen wanted you to know that he has evidently promised to work with the Ministry and Helen to see what, if anything, can be done for her. Do I have to step outside this door to start it? No, I just needed to walk to the door.
I hope you were able to take care of everything I had asked you to do.
Professor, I completed all of your most recent assignments.
Well done. Then you're ready to learn Expelliarmus. Pay close attention. The disarming charm may often be all you need to defeat the most powerful dark witches and wizards you might encounter. Spellcasting requires a focused mind and a steady wand.
Ooh, I missed that one. It's okay.
Good work. The dummy is here if you wish to stay and practice.
I guess we wait.
Here I am, as good as my word.
We meet again.
surprised to see you. It would take the patience of a Hufflepuff to track down these pages.
Well said. Now, where do we go from here?
Follow me. I shall lead you as far as I can, but I fear I may remain a tad reluctant to revisit the scene of my demise. Keep your eyes open for a bird bath. When you find it, say intramuros. I think it's Latin. Or Greek. As you can imagine, I never paid much attention in school. Shall we?
Aside from the bird bath, anything else I should look for?
Indeed. A few landmarks. A stone bridge, a waterfall, and, if I recall, a lake. You'll see.
You've been very helpful. Thank you.
Yes. You know, the closer we get, the more I'm remembering. Probably best I leave you to it. Simply stick to the path and keep a sharp eye out for that bird bath. Adieu. Is that Latin? Or Greek?
Really? Oh shit. No. Ow. Shit. Got it. Yeesh.
Incendio! The waterfall. For a thief, Jackdaw's surprisingly as good as his word.
Interesting. Might as well. Collect. I keep forgetting I can hit LB.
Something oddly solemn about this place. Such regal creatures, stags. There it is, just as Jackdaw described. Revelio.
Alright, I have to interact with this.
Intramuros.
Here we go. You're watching YouTube, so that's why you're not typing.
Aren't you a little far from home?
Ranrock knew you'd eventually lead us to whatever it is you're hiding. Attack! When are you going to give up? Now, that's embarrassing, isn't it? Is that the best you can do?
I don't remember what I'm supposed to use.
I shall avenge your death.
What am I supposed to use on red?
You won't get away with that.
No risk those loyalists will report back to Ranrock now. Let's see where Jackdaw has led me. Revelio.
Oh, it's a slug. Henta. I love when I was able to throw them. Oh, the LBRB. I didn't want to use it though. I enjoy it, but I'd rather use that for a bigger boss. And since I'm horrible at trying to do my combos, because it's like whenever I hold RT and hit it, it doesn't always take. So.
I wonder how big this place is.
Revelio.
Hold on, let me make sure I'm not. I thought I hit. It's fucking huge. That's how big it is.
These runes must have something to do with opening this door.
There's dead spiders. Might as well use the new one.
I can shoot
Obviously
the symbol,
needed it.
but it doesn't stay lit for long. I need to light all three before they time out on me.
But I have been liking all
I
three.
see. I'll need to cast more quickly.
Oh, I guess one has a smaller timer.
That must be where this all leads.
Intriguing.
Someone didn't want casual visitors down here. I wonder if any of my spells will help me through this.
Here they come. Okay. I shrunk it. And then stomped on the fucking thing. A squish. Hey, squishied. That was the only way forward. Oh. Oh, I can't attack while I'm crouched. There's gonna be a big mama jama in here, isn't there?
I'm not going to touch those.
Why?
Stupid fire.
I hit. Why?
Revelio.
Okay. Ooh. Spider fang. Yummy. So there's a way down, I just didn't look and see it. Spider, maybe? It was there, then it disappeared.
Leviosa. That thing ought to be able to float straight to me.
Oh. Hi.
I'm glad Richard Jackdaw left a little something behind for me, but where could he be?
Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
Untouched chest. Jackdaw wasn't very thorough in his search of this cave.
Anything else?
Revelio.
Hidden? Maybe? Some weird plants, apparently. Which are not on this level. My stomach is gurgling. Alright, I'm sure a spider's gonna drop down because it appeared and then it disappeared. Yep, here they come. Oh, it's behind me? Stupid thing. Did you drop anything?
Another puzzle. Well, if Jackdaw could solve this, so can I.
Is there a third one, though? Are we in ads? Because if you are, I know you can't hear me.
Perhaps the next symbol is hidden somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Revelio.
Ah.
Remarkable.
I hit it. Oh shit. Oh, okay. Why you gotta zoom in on them? Whoop. You got one right behind you. Why? Don't waste it on that one. I was holding wide and it didn't work. Yeah, over there.
Farewell, monster. We meet again, Richard Jackdaw. Thank you for keeping these pages safe all these years. Here it is. The map that brought your doom, Jackdaw. Is there something beyond this room?
Yep. big ones. Highlight them.
That's unnerving. What's happening? I've seen this before. In Gringotts and the restricted section.
Okay.
Where am I? Oh no. The room's starting to flood. How am I being protected? What sort of magic is this? I can only hope this magic protects me until I'm able to make my way out of here. What is this place?
Another boss. Oh.
Can it be?
It's you.
Has someone finally found our map chamber?
I recognize you from the Pensives. You're Professor Rackham.
I am indeed. I must confess that I am surprised to see someone so young standing before me.
I'm the same age that you and Isadora Morganach were when you started at Hogwarts.
You've paid attention. And might I presume you share our ability?
To see traces of ancient magic. Yes, sir, I do.
As you have likely realized by now, our ability gives us a unique relationship with all forms of magic. We can access expressions of magic that few others can. Opportunities will arise that allow you to sharpen this rare talent. Do not squander them.
I won't, Professor. Thank you.
We have much to discuss. But first, a map found in a certain book led you here. Place the book on the pedestal.
I don't have the book with me, sir.
That is unfortunate. I'm afraid we must pause our conversation until you return with the book.
I'm a bit confused, sir. Why is this room called the map chamber?
I assure you that all will be clear once the book has been placed on the pedestal.
Okay.
Very well. I'll retrieve the book right away.
Good. We shall speak again once the book is in place.
Snappy time. That is 9 out of 16, so we have 7 left for the nighttime. I always run to this shit when it's nighttime.
Everybody grab a broom, and we shall get started. Mr. Clopton, your attention, please.
Sorry, Madam Kagawa.
Everyone, please welcome a new student to our flying class.
Welcome.
The goal of today is to remind all of you how to maneuver on a broomstick safely, as broom flight is, first and foremost, a means of transportation. This, I fear, some of you have forgotten. Diving, rolling, and loop-the-loops will not be taught or in fact tolerated in this class. We'll leave that to professional Quidditch players, like the Toyohashi Tengu. Not a fan, I take it? Now, let's see how well everyone kept up with their practice over the summer holidays. For those who need a refresher, step up to your broom, say up firmly and clearly, then kick your leg over and rest your weight on the seat. Up! Thank you. Now, your turn.
Up, you stupid ratty school broom!
Up! One leg over, so there's a leg on each side. None of that side saddle nonsense. A gust of wind will throw you right off. And if you hear my whistle while you're in flight, ground yourself at once.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Now, for your first lesson, fly through each ring in the courtyard. Do take care. The brooms are school property. I want them returned in one piece.
Hold on. Okay. Fly through rings. Got it. Ah. That's weird.
I think I'm getting the hang of this. This is brilliant.
Nice balance. Well done. Now that you're acclimatized to your broom, let's see how well you manage with a more advanced exercise, shall we?
Okay.
This next
Hold
set of
RT
rings will take you
flight
around the
speed.
grounds for more of a challenge.
Toggle flight speed. Descend and ascend.
What a view.
Hello. Nice day for a flight. Ah, the old boathouse. Wish you could have experienced crossing the lake as the first year.
Oh, nope. Up is down. Duh.
Whoa. Our aquatic resident likes to make an appearance once in a while.
Nope. Up is down. Nope. Down is down. Up. What? I'm so confused.
That wasn't too bad.
Sure.
Made it. Did anyone else see that?
Oh, well done! Have a moment?
Brilliant.
Oh, well done! Have a moment?
Suck.
I say, I watched you fly through those rings. You seem to handle yourself on that dusty school broom well enough. I'd imagine you're ready for something a bit more challenging. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We haven't properly met. I'm Everett Clopton. Am I right in suspecting that a Hufflepuff like you might be interested in some high-flying fun?
Kagawa seems strict. I wouldn't want to get into trouble.
Kagawa won't even notice. Besides, a bird doesn't learn how to fly by staying in the nest. Follow me.
So either way, I'm stuck having to do it. Got it.
The tour is about to begin. Follow closely now. Right now, we're flying over the Transfiguration Courtyard. Lovely as ever. Let's hope the headmaster isn't having tea by the window today. Nice to get above it all, isn't it?
Why do I keep doing that to myself?
Ahead of the gardens, the Hufflepuff common room windows just peek out. Bit claustrophobic for my taste. Here's something handy to know. Lean forward for a burst of speed. Helpful if you need to escape a tricky situation.
Oh.
Now that's
There's the famous brick. You sure you're not part hippogriff? And the owlery. That's a bit of solid architecture, isn't it?
Flying tips and a jaunt around Hogwarts. This is quite the tour, Everett.
That's Kagawa's whistle. This concludes our tour. Best hurry back. Looks like she's already dismissed class. Better hurry and hand in our brooms. Dismount here. And where have you two been? Oh, hello, Professor. We were trying to get a bit of extra practice in.
Hefty points will be taken from each of you for not following my instructions. Mr. Clopton, I am disappointed in you. You're in this class because you're still not showing yourself, or frankly, your broom the proper respect.
But, Professor...
Enough! Class is finished for the day. As for you, you do well to use better judgment in the future. Chin up. That was some rather good flying.
Uh-huh.
Sorry about that business with Kagawa, but you have to admit, those views were worth it.
It was worth losing a few house points for that detour.
You seem at home on a broom. Bet if you had a fancy model, you could fly laps around Imelda. She's Kagawa's favorite. I could show her a thing or two if I had my own broom. Hate having to return the school broom after class.
Perhaps I'll have to purchase a broom then.
If you can, you should. Wish I could. I recommend visiting Albie Weeks at Spintwitches in Hogsmeade. He's always looking to test new models. I'll keep an eye out for you in the sky.
Okay. So Hogsmeade. I bet that'll look better with what I got. Let's talk.
Hello, Mr. Weeks, is it?
Albie Weeks at your service. Welcome to Spintwitches. Apologies if you came by before and weren't able to come in. Shop's been closed since trade routes were disrupted. Had to travel as far as London to meet with my supplier. And I've only just returned, thankfully with inventory. I presume you're in the market for a new broom? Got a few rare yew-weavers available. Ember Dash, Silver Arrows. Wind Wisps too. No matter what broom you choose, you'll be pleased. They're all exceptional, both in quality and performance.
Sounds quite the array of brooms. I'll have a look around, thank you.
We're gonna go with this one.
You'll be thrilled with that broom, I promise you. Whilst nearly any broom will certainly be a step up from the practice brooms in Kagawa's class, they all have their limitations. You seem to be a flyer who might be interested in, say, some enhancements?
Go on.
Ha! Knew I was right about you. I think you'll be quite happy with the performance of any broom at lower altitudes. But you may notice that speed consistency tends to falter as you rise. I believe I can remedy this issue. I have some ideas for enchantments, upgrades, if you will, that will improve the performance of any broom you fly. What I need is someone to conduct a broom flight and report back to me so I can perfect the upgrades. As it happens, another Hogwarts student, Imelda Reyes, is using abandoned broom courses for time trials. Clever girl. An ideal situation for collecting flight statistics. If you were to compete for the best time and succeed, then report back to me with how your broom behaved, I could complete work on my first upgrade. What say?
Sounds like it's...
That sounds intriguing. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. It'll be worth your while. If I'm right, the new upgrade ought to enhance brooms in every regard. And I can give you a special price. The time trial should be a bit of fun too. Go to the Quidditch pitch and Imelda Reyes will sort you out. Once you've beaten Imelda's time, be sure to let me know.
Nearly got my broom. Where is she? I'm just curious. Which door I need to go in. See, I knew it was in one of these towers. Enter!
Professor Weasley? Somewhere away from prying eyes.
I've already been in it once. Because I...
Forgive me, the headmaster stopped me and I... Merlin's beard. I see you've wasted no time. Well done. Shall we?
After you, Professor.
To a higher level than what most of the quests call for.
What is this place?
This is the Room of Requirement. It only appears when one is in real need of it. Ordinarily, a student might stumble upon this room entirely by accident. If ever. I'd only planned to suggest to you how to find it by walking past that bit of wall, focusing on what you need. But you've managed to reveal the room on your own. While I'm here, we should take advantage of the moment. Now, where is Deke? He must have sneaked past and gone ahead.
Deke, Professor?
The house elf I was speaking to in my classroom your first day. Thought he might help you use the room once you've found it. There's no chance I'm clambering over this mess. This presents the perfect opportunity to teach you Evanesco, the vanishing spell. You can cast Evanesco to vanish certain objects, such as these chairs and other things here in the room. I suggest you practice the wand movements first, then you can clear the chairs away.
Okay.
Splendid. Now, cast Evanesco on those chairs.
Sure thing. It was green.
Excellent work. You'll note that you are now in possession of Moonstone. We shall discuss its uses later. Let's move on. Where in Merlin's name is that elf? Is that... Goodness. My old school bag. I wondered where that had got to.
Hey, I waited here for you for
Can't believe it's
ages.
still
Perhaps
here.
you were assigned a
I'll
few
just
more
take a
inches
quick
of
look at
parchment
this.
than you
Give you an
expected.
opportunity to
Let me know if you
explore on
want
your
to
own until we
try
locate
to
Deke.
meet again. Sincerely,
Yes,
T.
Professor.
Dear me. Can't you keep it down? Some of us are trying to rest. Revelio.
What do I need that for?
Revelio.
Hehe.
Hope this isn't as precarious as it looks.
An intruder!
Revelio.
No, not... that's not helpful, you worthless pile of tin!
It just falls apart. There was something. Oh. Interesting. Could have ended the room, thought I needed a bath. Cheeky thing.
Revelio.
How does anyone other than a house elf manage to get around in here? What was that? Was that a golden snitch?
It is.
Perhaps you should summon your wits and find out.
I don't know where it went.
Revelio.
I need those for something. But I don't know. Come on. over there?
Revelio.
Just... Oh, there's a chest on top of that. Wait. Let me search it. I think it actually just told me I could search it. Set it for like a... Ah! Okay. There we go.
I hope that house elf can find us in here.
Better than an
Revelio.
antique. There's a flue flame there.
Yikes! Careful!
Huh? Oh, there you are. Wait right there. Deke will come to you. Hello.
Ah, Deke, we've been looking for you.
Apologies, Professor Weasley. Deke was looking through some of what's appeared in the room since Deke was last here. Is this the student?
Indeed it is.
Deke is honored to meet you.
Deke has been a friend since I was a second year. We discovered this room together. I mentioned you to Deke. We believe that you might be able to benefit from this room like I did. Deke, would you be so kind?
Of course, Professor Weasley. The Room of Requirement will always be equipped for the Seeker's needs. It's unplottable, so won't appear on any map. Most happen upon it by accident, if ever. Deke's seen students in need of an extra file for potions stumble upon the room filled with them. You seem to have accessed it in its form as the Room of Hidden Things.
I was thinking about needing a place away from prying eyes. Brilliant.
Oh, that explains it then.
What I need specifically is a place where I can catch up on my schoolwork without distraction.
Well then, the room can provide you with precisely that. Now, it's time to focus on what you need. Just close your eyes. Imagine the room precisely as you need it. The room will do the rest.
You've given yourself quite a canvas to work with. I look forward to seeing what you do with the space. Ah, and it seems the room has provided you with a desk of description. Excellent. It can identify unfamiliar items of clothing. One should always understand the effects of anything in which one is clothed. You'll find plenty of items of clothing that need to be identified. The desk will be an invaluable resource.
Did you miss the bus again? so I can actually do things here and now.
I imagine the desk of description will come in handy.
It will. I hope you'll take advantage of it. Now, I'll give you a brief lesson in conjuring. The room might not provide everything you need on its own.
Conjuring?
Yes, the magic of creating or conjuring objects. I'll teach you.
Okay. Conjuring spell. A X Y A.
Very good. When conjuring more complex objects, you'll need what's called a spellcraft. Spellcrafts are like recipes. They list the ingredients or resources needed to conjure a particular object. You should have acquired some for a potion station and potting table from tomes and scrolls in Hogsmeade.
I did. Where can I find the resources I need?
While resources such as moonstone can be obtained throughout the Highlands, it's much safer and easier to purchase them. They can also be collected by vanishing objects in the room, such as the chairs you vanished earlier. In fact, you should have enough resources for now.
I see. Can I regain resources by vanishing something I've already conjured?
You can indeed. Quite perceptive. Why don't you give it a try? Go ahead and conjure the potion station and potting table. You should find both familiar, since they'll resemble the ones you've already used to study magical plants and brew potions in class.
Someone pranked me saying I was late. Well, now I was actually late. That was kind of... ouch. It's kind of mean. This is probably something I'll do.
Deke will be here to
Dodged
answer
a
any
bullet.
questions
Yes.
you may have. Do not underestimate his insights.
Okay.
Can you tell me a bit more about Deke?
He's been at Hogwarts longer than I have, and seems to know its every nook, cranny, and secret. We discovered this room together when I was a student. Deke has had a good deal of experience, both here at Hogwarts and at a previous post. I shall let Deke tell you more when he's ready, but again, you would be wise to listen to any suggestions he may have.
I am curious if the sounds a little off.
Can I use this type of transfiguration magic outside of the room?
Conjuring and vanishing are strictly forbidden elsewhere in the castle. We've charms in place to enforce that. It would be exhausting to reverse the errors in both judgment and magic. But
it is.
The Room of Requirement has its own rules.
That might help it. What's their crying face when Hogwarts is strict? Hogwarts is strict. A little bit. A little bit. I know you're hearing it echo back. I'm trying to listen to see if the sound's off.
I will be sure to speak with Deke if I need anything. Thank you.
Good luck. I shall linger a bit longer in case you'd like to learn another transfiguration spell for use in the room.
I'm ready for the next lesson, Professor.
Very well. First, you'll need to gather some moonstone. You can acquire it by vanishing items here in the Room of Requirement, or you can gather it carefully outside of the Hogwarts grounds. Return to me once you've gathered enough, and we shall begin the lesson.
I have the moonstone you requested, Professor.
Good. Then we may begin your lesson. You can conjure more than potions and herbology tables. Conjuration can be used to decorate this space to your liking. Why don't you try it on the walls and floor?
I've conjured everything I can. What's next, Professor?
I think you're ready to take on alteration. The altering spell will allow you to customize any conjured item. You can change the colors, patterns, and styles of your furniture to suit your taste. Let's get started, shall we? Watch closely as I demonstrate how to perform the altering spell. Just aim your wand at any conjured item and perform the altering spell to customize it. Nicely done. Now you're ready for something a little more advanced. You can use the altering spell directly on the room's architecture. Try these new designs on the floor or balcony. Try aiming at the floor or at that balcony whilst using the altering spell.
Oh, now you're gonna let me do it.
Do you mind?
Of course, Professor Weasley. Professor Weasley showed Deke this bit of magic some years ago. Deke thinks you'll enjoy it. Come and talk to Deke when you're ready.
Oh, the greenery! I enjoy the redecoration and all of that. Okay, I'll stop. Especially when it's turned around and unlocked free to change my room. I was like, yep, nope, doing it. Now. Let's talk to the
Professor Weasley said I should ask you about changing the room's ambience.
Of course. What sort of overall look most appeals to you?
Natural and earthy.
I'd like the room to feel natural and earthy, as though I'm outdoors.
Oh, sounds perfect.
Quite a difference. Of course, you needn't keep this style if you don't like it. You can always ask Deke to change it back. Now you have learnt a good bit about alteration.
Thank you, Professor. The room is full of possibilities.
Indeed. No matter how much time I spend here, the room always manages to surprise me.
That's why I couldn't change the statue. Aw, it doesn't match.
An even bigger space.
How did that happen?
The room equips itself to your needs. It must have sensed that you needed more space to practice spellcasting. If you'd like to customize the space further, you can use these spellcrafts. You'll find more of them both inside and outside the school.
Thank you, Professor. I shall keep an eye out.
Good. I'll leave you to it. This is your space now. Use it wisely.
Okay. I think it'll hurt to do a few things off live. So when we come back, everything should look like this. I might do some more reorganizing. I don't know. Rin, is there anyone on that you want to raid? No? Apparently there's only 2 people on right now. So... Resilient Tinks... 2 people that I'm following. raided me last Thursday. They are also doing Hogwarts Legacy. I think I'm gonna return the favor and raid them. And Ren, I will probably call you afterwards. I'll send you a message first. Because I do need to grab something to eat. So thank you everybody for tuning in and seeing this. Tomorrow we got Destiny going on. Or for Wednesdays is Destiny. And as always, I'll catch you next time. Thank you!